Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Hello and welcome in to a Wednesday, a wacky Wednesday here on the Blitz, here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. John Abraham, Joe Hunk, as we bring you guys 2 hours straight of sports talk here on the top sports network in all of North Alabama. Get my camera set up right now, Joe, but don't let it stop you from doing the great things that you always do, because similar to yesterday, we had to make things work, and we of course had the Havoc Hour live
so crazy
from Zambruski's. And Joe, you know, okay, you're part of this squad that has multiple hats, even though you're not rocking one, and I wouldn't rock one because I don't want to mess up my pompadour. But
I get
outside
yelled
of
at if I rock one.
that is true.
I do. I get yelled at.
It's all right. The ladies didn't like whenever I cut my hair back in grade school. Whenever I cut my hair, that's whenever my popularity took a dip. But regardless of that, I don't have to worry about that anymore. I'm a free-spirited soul that truly just does whatever he wants to do, and a majority of that consists of sports, as well as listening to the men upstairs who tell me to do the sports, and also the Lord above.
I didn't know what men upstairs you were referring to. That's what I thought.
Well, they are technically the men upstairs.
Good Lord, that's what I thought.
But mainly the man across the room from us,
yes.
And on top of that, the man that's up in Winchester, Tennessee, which we welcome everybody who's listening, whether you're listening here in the Huntsville area or you're listening up on ESPN Winchester. For the Tennessee fans, for whatever type of fan bases you may be, you're also able to hop in to the phone lines, 256-576-97.7, to hop onto a conversation with us, whether we're talking baseball, the Braves, whether we're talking the Final Four, Auburn or Florida. Hey, that's pretty good.
What's going to happen first? The Final Four or the Braves win a baseball game? Which one's happening first?
Like the champion gets crowned in the Final Four?
I'm literally talking about the game tipping off.
Okay. We might see the game tip off before the Braves win. Let's be real, Joe. Okay.
It may be neck and neck.
Yeah.
And the only reason I say that is just because that basically leaves one game on Friday and against the Marlins.
Yeah, they're going to be playing the Marlins.
That's the reason why it's a possibility that they actually win before the Final Four.
Yeah, but that's if they are good enough to beat the Marlins, which, Joe, coming into the season, I thought the Braves were a solid enough team to hold their own.
Yes.
But, of course, there is the lacking of a few players. The injuries continue
when Jerickson Profar is
also that
trying to breastfeed, you got to really think about, the players that you signed.
I don't fully understand that. Can you, break that down for me?
So he was, okay, so he got hit for PEDs, 80-game suspension. He's now no longer even eligible to play in the playoffs. And he got hit with it was a testosterone builder.
Yes.
And the blocker that he was hit with, or that they also found in his system that is supposed to block it where he can continue to do this, allegedly. I believe it's for like mothers trying to produce more breast milk.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not one to judge.
I believe my wife will probably be taking this stuff like in a month.
Yeah, good for her though. By the way,
yeah.
You guys getting ready for that third child? Did you announce anything about the child?
It's going to have 2 arms, 2 legs.
Nice.
We have been able to see that. I'm going to start giving you the Brian Wilson answers.
Nice.
It's going to come out crying. Hopefully,
of course.
There's going to be black tar poop at some point in time.
I didn't need to know that.
No. That's all part of it, man.
Yeah.
It's a welcome to the world.
It's the same as watching your wife actually give birth. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. I don't know if I really want to do it. I could definitely do it. I just don't want to do it.
The first one I watched, the doctor had to pull me back over to our side because I kept wanting to watch.
You're like, pull me out.
Yeah, no, seriously. And so I was like, oh, I want to see, this is kind of crazy. I didn't think I would, but hey, here we are. The second one I didn't get to watch because it was so incredibly quick, and they put the tarp or screen or whatever it is so high up that I wasn't able to look across it. And so this one, it's going to be basically it really kind of depends.
Okay.
It really kind of depends.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, no, it was I was giving you Brian Wilson answers there at the very beginning.
No, I totally understand that. We had a lot of fun with those guys yesterday. Dylan Stewart, Brian Wilson, and I have to admit, Joe, it was pretty fun to start the show off, but I can't believe you actually trusted me to get things going in front of that live crowd, because the first time I did it was the second time for the Havoc Hour.
Right.
It was a wonderful show, but it was the second time. We didn't have that built-up crowd, that built-up recognition for us, of course, doing the Havoc Hour. Now we're at the end of the season, Joe. All right. And this is supposed to be the final show, if not for the postseason.
Yeah, this was the last scheduled Havoc Hour.
Yes.
Like when we sat down with the Huntsville Havoc and they had this idea of doing this show, it was scheduled to run all the way through April 1st because this weekend is the last regular season weekend. So like this was the last schedule. Now it's kind of a play it by ear.
Yeah.
And so if we are still playing and Tuesday comes up and it is available, then we are going to be doing it.
That's right.
And I say it's available, meaning as in the date is available because we don't know the SPHL schedule.
Yeah.
Just to be honest with you, like I was talking to somebody just a little while ago. They're like, so what are you doing next week? And I said, great question. I do not know. Am I possibly going to Evansville? Are we possibly going to Knoxville? Are we going to be at the VBC? Are we going to be at the Iceplex? We don't have confirmation of anything.
No idea.
We have ideas. We think we know where we're going to be in certain places, but we have no clue what the schedule is going to be.
Yeah.
So like I'm sitting and John and I are talking, and part of what I do, it consists of a lot of like UAH games. And so I try to communicate with both you and Tom and everybody else. Like, here are the dates that I have for UAH games. Like yesterday afternoon, I had a UAH baseball game, which was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, which turned out to be a really good game and a really great outcome. But at the same time, your mind was going straight to what's next. I got to get to the Huntsville Iceplex.
Anybody that has like ADHD or anything that knows that whenever you start like having extreme anxiety, you start picking your fingers and stuff. Like it's a texture thing.
Oh, that's just like a constant thing for me.
Well, and it's like a comfort thing. Like my son bites his lip, I bite my lip, but I also like pick the skin and all that sort
You're
of stuff.
telling me I need a blanket right now? Like I need a comfort blanket? Joe? I don't need one. I don't need that.
Yeah, kind of that actually kind of is exactly how it is.
I don't even fully understand that.
But through the game yesterday, and the closer and closer we got to the Havoc Hour, the more and more I started picking at the skin and around my hands, because I knew that the Iceplex was 15 minutes away. Like I GPS'd it. I knew like, okay, I have got to get out by X time.
Yeah. It's a suggestion, by the way, that it's 15 minutes away.
Well, it is a suggestion.
Time's only
and
a
honestly,
construct.
I think I actually got there in about 10. But UAH was taking on the number 16 team in the country in Carson Newman, the Carson Newman Eagles out of Jefferson City, Tennessee. And this is a team that honestly, going into the game, you knew would just piss you off. Okay, not because they do not play baseball like we know baseball in 2025. They play baseball like it's 1993 or it's 1986 or it's Japan right now. You get the leadoff man on, you bunt him over, you have 2 outs to get him in.
Very slow, methodical baseball.
They have 5 different players that went into that game yesterday that was in the top 10 in sack bunts. Like that, it was easy to call. All right, well, leadoff man on, so you know this guy's bunting. And sure enough, that's exactly what it would be. The thought was, because they were such a good team and they had such amazing pitching, that they were, okay, this could get ugly. UAH was on a 5-game losing streak. Carson Newman had won like 10 of their last 12. Like it's all right, this is one team's going one way, one team's going the other. This may get ugly.
Yep.
Well, the midweek starters are nowhere close to as good as the weekend starters, which is that way throughout all of college baseball. That's why you're a midweek starter and not a weekend starter.
No doubt.
The pitcher they threw had like a 10 ERA. Very first inning, it's 2-0. Carson Newman. Brock Butler then comes up and does what Brock Butler does. And he hit a shot like 450 feet, tied the game up.
Nice.
Carson Newman got another lead. Brock Butler comes up again, another home run.
MVP.
And I mean, just like, okay, he's now like second in the Gulf South Conference in home runs. Like, okay, like this is going in. Then Carson Newman has like a 3-run inning. They go up 6-3. And we were like, this was fun. This was fun. You know, I really enjoyed this being a good game, but it's 5:30 now.
It's getting close.
Yeah, it's 5:30. Like, okay, I got if I can get out of here by 5:45. Like, I'm doing the math right here. And now the guy that sits beside me during the baseball games that does the PA is the same guy that does the PA for the Havoc games. So he knows what I'm doing because he's the one that does the liner every single game. Like, he definitely knows. He's looking at me going, don't you have somewhere to be? I'm like, yes, I do. And so I'm texting John and I'm trying to be as transparent with him as possible because I went earlier in the day, set everything up outside the laptop because I needed it.
Thank you, by the way.
Well, and I knew it was going to be because I was going to be like coming in on, I thought 2 wheels. It was actually 1. And so it was, I thought that was going to be the case. And so we get into the 8th inning and UAH is losing at 6-3. And I thought to myself, all right, well, they're going to probably get 3 out here. It's going to go. The game's probably going to end around 5:40. I'll be walking in and I'll be able to at least look at John, say what's up, shake hands with the coaches and players, and then we're going to start. Then UAH has a 5-run inning.
Nice. Let's go. Chargers. Let's go.
And during the middle of it, right when, and what made it worse was Carson Newman kept changing pitchers. And that takes 2 minutes, which normally you're not counting. But in this scenario, and I'm sitting here like literally counting seconds because I need to get to the Iceplex.
Don't they know you have somewhere to be, Joe? Like, they have no idea.
Where's Jefferson City, Tennessee?
Jefferson City, I think is it East Tennessee?
So I asked this genuinely because every time I wanted to say Jefferson City, Tennessee, I almost screwed up and said Jackson City, Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
So Jefferson, Tennessee is actually right outside of Knoxville, which means a lot of these players were probably Ice Bear fans.
Yeah.
Which means they were sabotaging me on purpose because they did not want me to get to the Havoc Hour because they know there's a possibility that they're going to have to play the Havoc in the first round. This was the conspiracy theory that I created in my mind as the reason why Carson Newman was losing this game. And so they kept making pitching changes, and they have a manager that literally is like a Hall of Famer. Like, he's in the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame. Like, he's just history is outlandish.
Big personality.
And he keeps changing pitchers. And I'm like, I swear to God, man. I did. So I texted John at one point in time and I said, UAH has the bases loaded right now. They're down by 3 runs. They either better hit a grand slam here or hit into a triple play. One of the two needs to happen. One of the two, because I can get on the road. Well, they didn't. And Carson Newman continued to walk guys and hit guys and everything. I'm just like, Then Will Knowles comes up. Tying run has already scored on a wild pitch. So now it's 6-6. So in my head, I'm thinking, you better score a run because we cannot go into extra innings. We cannot go into extra innings right now. And Knowles hits like just an absolute rocket of a ground ball down the right field line. I mean, chalk's flying up. Like, that's how close to being a foul ball it was. 2-run score. They go up 8-6. That's the 5th run. And I'm going, okay, got 2-run lead. Corey Haygood's about to come in. He's going to close this thing out. We're going to get out of here. It is 5:45 right now. If he can go in, like, I am like sitting there just going, it's 5:45. If I can get out of here by 5:50, I can get John to just hold off the show for like 30 seconds. Just allow me to walk in.
Nobody would care.
Just allow me to walk in. Carson Newman gets the first 2 guys out. And I'm like, yes, Corey Haygood, about to lock this thing down. Let's go ahead. I'm looking at my watch. I'm like, it is 5:48. Like, come on, man. I need you to just show up here. And then he walks the guy. And I'm like, son of a. Guy walks up to the plate, and I'm just saying, look, all I need is one out. Just one out. It's just one out. I'm looking over.
Not a big deal.
Like, it's just one out, right? We just need one out. It's an 0-2 count, and Haygood leaves one right over the heart of the plate, and this guy obliterates the baseball.
It's gone.
So I stand up in my chair, kind of like what I'm doing right now on WZZN TV, and I'm leaning out the window, and I'm like, go foul! Go foul! You better go foul! Like, this is what I'm saying on the broadcast. Ball goes foul by like a foot. And I'm just like, thank God. I was like, I swear I was about to have a new mortal enemy for the rest of my life if that ball would have been fair. Because that would have at least sent us into the bottom of the inning, if not extra innings, and I may have missed the entire show for the Havoc Hour.
It's not Pelham anymore.
No.
It's one random player on Carson Newman's baseball team.
One random player, Castellana or whatever his last name is. He was about to be my mortal enemy for the rest of my life.
Have you seen, I think it was D2 Prospects on X, they posted about that game.
Did they really?
They posted about it because it was an upset victory.
Oh, it absolutely was.
So I saw that and I was like, oh, this is UAH. And then I was like, oh, there's Joe's voice. And then I was like, oh, there you go. Good stuff for him.
And it genuinely, he hits the foul ball. And I'm just breathing a sigh of relief. And then, like, the very next pitch, he swings and misses. Ball game. I didn't even do the bottom or the top of the ninth inning with my laptop on. Like, I was packed up.
Yeah.
I was ready to go. I didn't even say bye to anybody. I was like, peace out. See y'all Friday. See y'all Friday.
They're probably like, well, that's very uncharacteristic.
Yeah, no, it is. And I said, I've got to get to the Havoc Hour. So I'm calling John. And it is 5:55, and I am hitting the interstate right at 5:55. And I was like, look, man, you're going to need to start this show. You start it, you do your thing, and whenever I get there, you just keep going. And when I get set up and we're good, we'll make the swap. John does the first segment, kills it, starts going in and talking with Coach Blasius and asking these tremendous questions. And I'm looking at everybody in Zambruski's as I'm setting up the laptop because I came in on one wheel and I'm like, is everything good? Like, I was able to double check everybody. Like, hey, is everybody good? Everybody's got their drinks. We got food. Audio's good. You can hear everything. And then I just slid right in.
Yeah.
And you didn't even, like, you got out of the chair and kind of started going over and working the camera. I was like, dude, you could have stayed.
Transition was made seamlessly, Joe.
Like, it was
not seamlessly. No, it wasn't perfect.
No, it wasn't perfect. But I had no worries whatsoever about you starting everything and me being late because I was like, he knows what he's doing. He's done this before. He's done a show. You know, all the players know him outside of Willie, just because Willie's never really met you. But everybody else, Stu has met you. Everybody has. I was like, dude, he's good. Everything's fine.
Matthew threw in the chat, Joe was going so fast that he had patches flying off his bag.
That is a true story. My Hunch and Tigers patch that I had on my bag, I walk into Zambruski's and I hear, hey, Joe. And I just kept going. I was like, he knows that whoever's screaming that knows. I thought maybe he's saying hello or something. I was like, I got to get to the stage. I got to get to the table. And he's like, hey, Joe. I'm like, what the heck? I turned around. He's like, you lost a patch. And I went, oh, my God. If it had been a Braves patch, wouldn't have cared. If it was my Titans patch, wouldn't have cared.
You would have got replacements.
It took me almost a month just to get this patch in from Japan. Yes, I cared about this Hunch and Tigers patch coming in. So he gave it to me. I was like, oh, you saved my tail on that. Thank you so much. And so, yeah, so I do appreciate Matt because Matt was the one that was behind me picking up my patches as they were falling off my bag as I was trying to get there. But you absolutely killed it. You saved it. And in the Havoc Hour last night was one of the most unique Havoc Hours that we have ever had.
No doubt. No doubt.
It was the first time doing the show, probably since my first show, that I had to look at John and went, so was that good? Was that a good show? Because it was so different. And I know that it was one of those that I know that Stewie and Willie and myself, like, we were laughing, but I didn't know if everybody else was because Willie has a extremely bone dry sense of humor. And he is so incredibly sarcastic.
He had me cracking up the whole time.
And so that's where I was like, is this going over people's heads? Like, I get it because that's my sense of humor. I mean, I can't count how many times, like, Tom's like, "Oh, Joe, I'm doing good." Or I was like, "Oh yeah, doing absolutely. I mean, better than yesterday. I mean, yeah, you're doing great." Like, something like that. Whereas in Willie is so incredibly dry, it was hilarious, and I didn't know how it was coming off.
I loved it, Joe. Personally, I really did. I was cracking up. I think some of the people in the Zambrewskis, they were also cracking up. I think it was just another fun night. People love it. If you've missed out on the Havoc Hour, though, we still are going to be back there this upcoming Tuesday, so make sure you come on down, 6 o'clock, Zambrewskis. And if you missed the show, well, you can always watch it over on WZZN TV, where we got the chat going live right now, and they're already talking about anime. And yes, we will get into that conversation, Joe, but we need to get into something that is even less relevant to the community.
Okay, don't. This is not. You're not pitching this.
That's not how you hype it up. Okay,
you are so not pitching.
How about this? The Birmingham Stallions, the 3-time champs, are playing football again.
Okay,
that was better.
That was much better.
Okay, good.
You're starting. Yep.
Good
okay,
deal.
Keep going.
Because James Larson's going to be joining us in the next segment to talk a little bit of UFL football. Spring football's back, baby. I know we got some basketball, but you know what? It could be any time of the year, Joe, and football is still going to be something on my mind.
This is going to be a John Abraham segment because I'm about to have to learn a lot of things in this.
I cannot wait.
So, yes, let's come back. We're about to talk a little UFL. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on with the Stallions and spring football.
You're pitching this wrong, Joe. You're pitching this wrong. 256-576.
You're not wrong.
4977.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as the east is from the west and remembers them no more. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor at Cross Point Church, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
I'm here with Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. With the temperatures going up and temperatures going down right now, now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right. The phones are staffed by us. They're manned 24/7. We're ready to come out and take care of you that day.
How do they give you guys a call?
You give us a call at 256-503-4490.
And you can find you guys on the World Wide Web at
talenthvac.com.
And now is a good time to do this because you guys are offering a special deal.
That's right. We're doing $49 tune-ups this spring. We're also doing free second opinions. We offer that year-round. Somebody comes out, they say you got a bad compressor, a leaking refrigerant. Give us a call, see if we can save you some money.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
256-503-4490.
AL certain number 21014.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Incredibly warm as we head into the overnight. Temperatures dropping into the mid and upper 60s. That's all the lower we're going to get. We're going to continue the warmth as we head into your Thursday. Partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky. Maybe a couple of rogue showers develop across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid 80s. Dropping into the upper 60s, lower 70s as we head into the overnight. A partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky. Friday afternoon, temperatures climbing into the low and mid 80s. We're going to do this again on Saturday. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
We are your home for March Madness.
Baker three, won't go, loose, scrum, Hunter, drive, lays it in at the buzzer, it's not enough. 50s for the upset.
We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
But it's life I cannot change. And it is keep up in the main.
Hello, welcome back into the Blitz. John Abraham, Joe Hunk with you on the most energetic sports talk show here in the Tennessee Valley. Appreciate all the listeners listening up in Tennessee as well as in the Huntsville area. And on top of that, always remember that the show is presented by the wonderful people at Fleming Roofing and Restoration. The guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online at FlemingHSV.com to fill out your free quote today. And remember that Fleming always shows up. Joe just told you the entire story of yesterday getting into the Huntsville Havoc and the Huntsville Havoc Hour, all of that good stuff. And we will probably talk a little bit more of Havoc throughout the show, as well as getting into Cover 5.
Because we also learned last night that apparently The Undertaker is one of the top 5 guys in professional wrestling at doing the frog splash.
Yeah, I would say Nacho Libre and maybe Ramses as well.
No, not according to Brian Wilson.
But yeah, Brian Wilson, of course, he's an expert at everything WWE, so he knows the facts. I just know the opinions. But, you know, I know a guy that knows the facts on quite a bit of stuff, especially spring football. And he joins us now, and it is James Larson from the PF News Room. James, it's been a minute, brother. How are you doing?
Man, I'm doing well. It's been too long. Like, it feels like it's been years since we talked, but spring football is back in motion, and I'm excited.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And it feels also like it's been years since we've had football, even though it really was just going down in February. It's like
as John is getting phone calls right now for it. No, and as John's doing that, I'm gonna take over just because he's got the phones ringing at the moment. And James, I'm gonna be straight. Like, this is something that John is very passionate about, and so this is the reason why he's like, hey, look, James is amazing. Want to get you on talk about it. I am not somebody that watches spring football, so help me out with this. As I'm sitting here and I'm spending my Saturdays getting ready for a Final Four. I'm watching a ton of baseball around the world. Like, help me out as to what is right now with the UFL and everything that is so great about this that people do need to be paying attention to it.
Yeah, so honestly, man, I think you got to get your mental straight and start tuning into spring football. What are you doing? That's just kidding. But look, spring football is one of those things that if you're like a football purist and if you're someone that just like can't get enough football, this is a league for you. And I think that it has its own kind of niche, especially here in the spring where the talent is so good. Like, the product that we see on the field over the last couple of years, the amount of players that are former NFL draft picks and guys that have been in the league for multiple years, and the innovations we see from the league, whether it's the kickoff changes, the extra point, the onside kick, the way that they changed that into a 4th and 12 attempt where it makes, last second. We just saw this past Sunday, the Memphis Showboats converted down a 4th and 12 and then almost tied up the game after being down 14 with like a minute left. So, it's things like that make this game exciting, and football fans across the country have really been tuning in.
Well, and you're talking about it with the ways that this thing is growing and the way people are looking into it. For a lot of people that don't know, because we've had, the UFL, the XFL, the AAF, we've had all these different leagues on this. For people that, again, do happen to forget that the UFL and spring football does continue to exist, how does this is formatted? Like, when did the season start? Like, all that sort of stuff. And I'm asking these basic questions, and I apologize, but I know that there are people going, wait a second, this has started. And so that's why I ask.
No, absolutely. Yeah. So the league right now currently set up starts right at the end of March and it runs through mid-June. So you've got a 10-week regular season that basically runs through about the end of May. And the first couple of weeks of June are the playoffs. You have the USFL conference with 4 teams from the USFL and the XFL conference with 4 teams from the XFL. So for those who might not be too familiar with spring football, we had 2 different spring leagues a couple of years ago. We had the USFL to play 2 seasons and the XFL to play the season. But, spring football is not the biggest team, so it made sense. The leagues were like, let's come together, let's merge, take the best of both leagues. That way we have one super strong spring football league. So you've got the USFL conference, the XFL conference. In the postseason, the top 2 USFL teams play each other, the top 2 XFL teams play each other, and then the UFL championship is between the top USFL, top XFL team on June 15th.
Yeah, and we're very much looking forward to that. But, of course, there's a lot of time, a lot of season to go for it. But, James, we already had week one. And I don't know if it's because the promotions were just not there. I don't know if we just were looking in the wrong places, but also there's a thing called March Madness and, opening day for MLB going on. Kind of talk about how that really fits in to the schedule of people and the time that they have to watch sports and which sports they decide to allocate their time towards. Talk a little bit about how the UFL is trying to stand out in that way.
Yeah, I mean, from a scheduling standpoint, it's a little bit unfortunate for the start time this year where, like you said, you've got March Madness going on and it's really kind of peaking in its competition on that end. MLB opening weekend, there's a lot going on. So I think something that the league will want to tweak in seasons moving forward is possibly moving up their start date because back when the XFL was on its own, they started in February right after the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Now, there's a couple arguments for what would work better. An earlier start date means that you have a little bit less competition the first few weeks, right? You can kind of build momentum, get people tuning in, and then they might be a little bit more inclined to keep watching week 5, week 6, week 7, even when there's more competition. But then on the other hand, it's having a little bit of a break between the NFL and the UFL. It gives football fans like an opportunity to actually miss football.
Yeah.
And then they're like, hey, like I miss football. Where can I go watch football? And then there's the UFL. And they're like, oh, sweet. Like new professional football league. Let's go watch it. So, there's arguments for both sides. I think the UFL will this offseason really needs to like figure this one out. That way they can nail what the perfect starting time date is for this league.
Yeah, no doubt about that. James Larson from Pro Football Network or Newsroom. And I caught a little bit of that Stallions versus the Defenders game, and these are two of the best teams I would say in the UFL and the XFL and all of the history that we've had in just the last few years. But obviously the Stallions kind of came out slow. Alex Magoo got sacked a bunch, and we also got to hear him kind of struggle with some of the play calls. Is that because of the new coaches? Is that because of these players? They're kind of all over the place during the actual NFL season. Talk a little bit about how it is for these players to kind of get back into the swing of things in this spring league.
So I think for Birmingham, kind of speaking to some of their struggles, Alex Magoo, the USFL's MVP, a couple of years ago, but the team's changed a bit for him. He has not started as a quarterback in professional football since the 2023 USFL Championship, which was almost 2 years ago at this point. He spent time in Green Bay, but he was primarily a wide receiver because that's what they had him as while he was on their practice squad. So for him, one, he's got to get his legs kind of back under him when it comes to, playing a professional football game and being a starting quarterback. And then at the same time, the talent level's really improved since 2023. He's not going up against the same guys. He's got a lot more NFL caliber talent in the league. Not to mention, we merged. So instead of having 16 teams like we did back in 2023, we only have 8.
That is
and
true.
We have a lot more talent. So, for Magoo, I don't expect him to kind of be the star that he was in 2023. But at the same time, I know some people are kind of overreacting and they're like, wow, he looks terrible. We need to bench him. Let's give him a couple more games, give him an opportunity to, kind of get back into the swing of things. Let's see how things go. Birmingham, look, there's a 3-time champion. Like, they've won 3 in a row. So they're doing something right on the coaching staff, and I would still have faith that they're going to figure it out.
Yeah, and it is interesting to think about. Last time Alex Magoo was playing, he didn't have to play up against the team like the DC Defenders, and that was actually his first game against an XFL team because remember back then it was just the USFL. Now, of course, it is their conference, and he's going to be seeing that type of stuff quite a bit with new teams just here and there throughout the season. But another team I kind of wanted to look at that actually had a really good start to the season, my personal favorite team, and I know that might ruffle some feathers. I love the Stallions, but I was always riding with the Renegades. And talk a little bit about it. I saw them play just a tad bit. They looked good. Luis Perez, again, coming off of a good season. He looked solid as well. Talk a little bit more about this team and what we should look forward to.
Yeah, the Arlington Renegades are a team that they're looking at a ton of things around this year. Last season, they started 0-6. And if you look at those games, they were not getting blown out. They were losing literally on last-second field goals, and I think they quite literally lost 3 of those games to field goals as time expired. So, you kind of put that into perspective, and you're like, well, this team didn't lack talent. They just kind of lacked execution. They couldn't close games out late. This year, we're seeing a bit of a different squad. You know, they brought in some new talent. I think the coaches have really kind of emphasized being disciplined, making sure that late game situations, they know what to do. And we saw them come right out of the gate and just dominate a San Antonio team that is supposed to be a really good team this year. I mean, San Antonio was in the championship a season ago, but like you said, Luis Perez is one of the best quarterbacks to ever do it in this team.
Yep.
He is the Spring King. He actually just released a book titled The Spring King. So if you guys are interested in learning more about his story, he's been in quite literally every league to possibly exist since 2019. So he's been around the block. But aside from that, you know, Perez is back, but the ground game has really improved. They brought in Kalen Balazs, who really brings a spark and a new energy to this backfield, which is really helpful. Last year, Perez didn't have enough support from his ground game. I think this year we'll see more of that, and that'll really benefit Arlington's offense. And an offense that put up 33 points this weekend, so they're off to a good start.
Yeah, they definitely are. The offense was a little bit of the struggles from last season, but they're definitely looking like they're getting things started quick. As we're talking with James Larson from Pro Football Newsroom, and I don't know, there's something about the spring football that it's not just the small wait that we had, but it does feel like it's been a minute since we have had some professional football. I mean, February was the last game we got, and of course, we all know what happened there. But, you know, having a little bit of weight, it's enough to get us kind of pumped back for some football, but there's got to be something else. What else is the UFL doing this season that is going to bring in new fans or, you know, break down the game a little bit more for us as we, you know, catch these games on FS1?
Well, I think the broadcast is something to really pay attention to. You've got Fox and ESPN, who are really big stakeholders in this league, and they do an excellent job with giving inside access. Like throughout this opening weekend, we got to see like behind the scenes audio access all game long, and then not to mention the sideline reporter are going up to players and like literally interviewing them right after scoring touchdowns or making a play or making an interception. And it's a really unique team, and I think that's the one thing that sets apart the UFL as opposed to some other leagues where you get those in-game interviews, getting that behind-the-scenes access. Like, for example, we also get to see the coaches, like, quite literally calling their plays or being interviewed as they're calling plays. So, you know, it's one of those things that I think as more fans start to tune in, they'll be like, wow, like, this is unique, this is different, and we really like this.
Joe, you can also challenge a holding call in this league. Okay.
I mean, that's nice.
So, I mean, a lot of people, of course, are complaining about what's happening in March Madness. This could slow down the pace maybe of the UFL, but at the same time, it's weird. It's just one of those things where if this was brought to the NFL, it totally changed the game. But I mean, James, you know, challenging these penalties, is this something that you are all for?
Without a doubt, I think it's a really unique thing, right? You have it in the NBA where coaches can kind of challenge almost anything that they want to.
Yeah.
Now in the UFL, super challenge. And the cool thing this year is that last year you only had one super challenge as a head coach. This year, if you win your first super challenge, you get another one. So you're basically rewarded for making the right call. Michigan took advantage of that this past week. Great super challenge call from head coach Mike Nolan. They win it, and he's able to keep the super challenge and use it again.
It's a super challenge. I mean, how many supers can we get? I mean, what? I didn't know.
It's spring football. Might as well just add as many as you can, right? But I think it really enhances the game because, you know, there are plenty of times where referees, they don't see things right away that they're wrong. Like it happens. It's sports. You know, these guys are human. But, you know, these coaches, you have guys up in the booth that are watching every little thing. So they'll call down to their head coach and be like, hey, you got to throw a challenge on this. Like, this guy was offside. This guy held. This guy was illegally down the field. Of last year, we saw St. Louis really take advantage of that in their big win over San Antonio. So there's those sorts of little things that like really enhance the game. And I think it moves it forward. And it's a new, insightful way for fans to watch the game.
No doubt about that. And it doesn't just move the spring football forward, but the NFL forward as well, as we've already seen the NFL adopt just a few of the changes. And who knows, they might even adapt some more as they're going through their coaches meetings and all of that good stuff. But James, before we let you go, I want to know, you know, some of the big names we should be looking for, some of the notable names that we should probably hear throughout this UFL season. And on top of that, who are your favorites as we go through this season too?
So definitely a lot of big names to watch. I really like what the DC Defenders have put together, where they've got Jordan Fiamo returning. He's been one of the staples in this team. He's been looking pretty good at quarterback. Look, Birmingham, they're still a team to watch. Like, they've got Alex Madu back there at quarterback, but they also have Matt Corral, who was kind of backed up last year, but, you've got plenty of talent, the former Ole Miss standout. On St. Louis's side, Hakeem Butler's back. He was the Offensive Player of the Year a season ago. They've really built out their defensive line as well. Arlington, we already talked about it. Luis Perez, he is a guy to watch week in and week out. San Antonio, they've got Kellen Mond, the former Texas A&M star. I mean, he's their starting quarterback, former NFL draft pick. He's kind of had a rough week one, but we also got to take into consideration that he hasn't started in a game in a couple of years. So again, similar to Magoo, it might take a couple of these guys a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks to kind of get their legs back under them and get some confidence in their team. Now, Michigan is a team, obviously I'm based in Michigan.
Yep.
I really like what they have. I mean, their wide receiver room, Marcus Sims, Keosi Mariner, Malik Turner, you pair that up with a dynamic quarterback like Bryce Perkins, I think the Michigan team has potential to go all the way this year, especially if Birmingham's struggling.
Definitely interesting stuff right there. I love just hearing some of these names from quarterbacks that, couldn't make it fully in the NFL, at least in their younger years, and then have now, shifted over to the spring football. Kellen Mond, dude, he was with the Browns. He was with the Vikings. I mean, he was with almost every team. And Luis Perez, I got to watch him when he was on the Birmingham Iron, Joe. I mean, this is when this goes back to 2019, before that league folded. And, I mean, he was getting things done. And, I mean, there's always a possibility for some more of these big names to kind of pop up back into the NFL scene as well. But, James, always appreciate you, man. It's great talking with you again. Where can people find your work and kind of follow what you got going on over there at the PF newsroom?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter/X. Like, I still call it Twitter, but I know everyone's trying to call it X now. But you can find me over there at James Larson PFN. PFNews.com, Pro Football Newsroom. That's where all my articles are going to be. So if you're looking for just to stay up to date on the league, breaking news, signings, all that good stuff, make sure you check it out.
Yeah, and don't forget, you also have that photography stuff that you do. Where can people find that as well?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, during the season, I'll be down the sidelines getting shots as well. So if you want to check me on the Instagram at James Larson Official, you find all sorts of photos over there.
James, always appreciate it, man. We'll be checking out those photos, keeping up with the UFL all season long. It's just these first few weeks, it's going to be, we're a little busy, but you know what? I'll make some time to watch some games.
Sounds like a plan. John, thanks for having me on.
All right. Always good, man. James Larson from Pro Football Newsroom. It is tough to kind of catch one of these games in the first few weeks, Joe, but once you catch a game, I'm telling you, you're going to want to keep up with this league a little bit more. Football's football at the end of the day, and they're implementing quite a few cool things that maybe the NFL might pick up soon enough.
I think that is the biggest benefit of this is an experimental league.
Yeah.
Very similar to what AAA baseball is for like Major League Baseball with I forget what the name of the independent league is that baseball loves to send stuff to. It's like the Atlantic League or something like that, where their job is to test things for Major League Baseball, and that's kind of how they get funding for the league.
It's interesting.
I kind of feel like that way for the UFL. It is hey, let's try things out with these guys, and that gives us the ability to have at least like a quote unquote season of sample size on this, even if it's not NFL season, It'll be this type of season, which is why we've gotten the new kickoff rules that we have gotten is the reason why you're starting to see things that are coming out of the NFL meetings and the owners meetings about first downs, markers, using, lasers and all this other stuff. Like, because it's 2025, you should have been doing this in 2003, but it is those types of things that do get tested in the UFL.
Yeah, no doubt.
That is the benefit to it. Can I promise that I'm going to sit here and watch a game? I cannot, but I will pay attention to the benefits that it brings to the NFL.
No doubt about that. 256-576-97.7 is the number to join in on the conversation. Whether you want to talk a little bit of the UFL, the Spring Football League, whatever you're looking forward to about that, because, I mean, it's not just the kickoffs, Joe. You also have the 2, 3, 4-point conversions that you can also commit. And on top of that, there's just other weird things like going for it. Like instead of an onside kick, you do like a 4th and 30 or something like that, and you just yeet the ball down the field. I mean, there's just a lot of interesting stuff that this game's got going for it right now, and I'm looking forward to seeing if they'll actually bring some of it over to the NFL. Probably not the 3-point conversion thing, but regardless, we got to hop into a break. When we get back, Joe,
how bad are the Braves?
It's questionable.
They're starting to move their way up into history. We'll explain when we come back on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, ESPN Winchester, and WCCN TV.
It can't be that bad.
It is.
This is Brent Musburger's BSIN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. AI-powered betting models to help you make sharper picks during March Madness. Free 7-day trial available now at rhythm.com. That's RITHMM.com.
Duke men's basketball set for the Final Four this Saturday night in San Antonio. They'll take on the Houston Cougars. Duke's a 5.5-point favorite. Houston plus 210, over under 136.5. Auburn's a 2.5-point underdog against Florida. The Tigers plus 130, over under 159.5. The Atlanta Braves are 0-5 to start the season. They lost last night 3-1 at Los Angeles. The Dodgers improved to 7-0. Bryce Elder starts for the Braves tonight. They're plus 205 on the money line. The Dodgers go with Blake Snell, LA minus 270. The Dodgers are the World Series favorite at plus 250. The Yankees plus 850. The Braves, Mets, and Phillies all plus 1,000 to win the World Series. I'm Chuck Sanders on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Countdown to the 2025 Trash Panda season is on. Tickets are available for the full 2025 home schedule, including opening night on Friday, April 4th. But it doesn't end there. The Trash Panda season opens with 9 home games in 10 days, featuring theme nights, giveaways, fireworks, and more. This opening homestand has it all. For more information, check us out online at trashpandasbaseball.com.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky this afternoon. Going to be quite warm across the Tennessee Valley. Small opportunity for a little bit of rain, but it looks like we're probably going to end up staying dry. Temperatures consistently climbing into the low and mid 80s, dropping into the mid and upper 60s as we head into the overnight, and much the same Thursday afternoon. A partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky. Maybe a rogue shower develops across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid 80s, only dropping into the mid and upper 60s as we head into the overnight. We're going to do it again on Friday. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Attention, attention, may I have the camp's attention?
Your home of the college football playoffs.
Playoffs?
Is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Playoffs? Playoffs?
Hello, welcome back into the Blitz. John Abraham, Joe Hunk. Just had a great conversation with James Larson from the Pro Football Newsroom. If you missed it, though, you can always go back to our YouTube page, WZZN TV, rewatch that, or you can go and listen to it over on our SoundCloud, 97.7 ESPN The Zone, or just go to our website, 97.7ESPN.com, and you'll get every single episode that we have done for as long as I can imagine. Regardless, Joe,
yes,
you brought up the Braves because that is now going on during everything else.
Well, and before we talk about that, don't forget that coming up on Friday night, it is opening night for the Rocket City Trash Pandas.
Oh, yeah. The 4th of April.
Yes,
It'll be
as
fun.
they are going to be hosting the Chattanooga Lookouts in a long homestand that they are starting at Toyota Field. First pitch is going to be at 6:35. It's going to be over on our sister station, Talk Radio WZZN. Make sure that you download the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app or the Talk Radio WZZN app, and you can listen to Josh Carey on the broadcast on Friday night for that game. Now, you will most likely be paying more attention to that than you may be the Braves if they continue to do what they're doing tonight.
Let's hope. And also, Joe, we got to remind the people that we will have 4 different nights where we will be out at Toyota Field for 97.7 or WZZN night. So
Yes.
you guys will be able to come out. You'll be able to definitely see me. You might see Joe. You might see Tom. You might see Steve. You might see maybe Scott will come out. Maybe even Drew. Those guys got a lot going on as well. So we'll see about that. But you guys will definitely see me live on location. And you can grab a sticker. You can say hi. Grab maybe a little softy ball that we'll have. You know, we'll have some stuff for you. And we'll have those announced, those dates announced throughout the season as well. So definitely look forward to some fun at Toyota Field.
So how many times since 1990 have the Atlanta Braves started 0-6?
Since 1990.
Since 1990.
I'm going to say, was it? I thought it was okay. So this is different now.
Oh, no, we're working our way up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're working our way up.
So give me the number 5.
Try 1.
What? Just 1.
2016. The Braves started that season 0-9. They would end up being 68-93.
Okay. Yeah, they definitely didn't make the postseason that year.
Yeah, that was also the year that that Freddie Gonzalez was fired.
Oh, okay.
About a month and a half into the season.
Since 1990, though, you're telling me just one time.
The very last season at Turner Field.
Wow.
Now,
we thought we were done with this, Joe. Once Truist came and was erected, we thought, hey, this is the next team to take the MLB by storm. It was going to be the Yankees. It was slowly becoming the Dodgers, and then it was going to be the Braves.
They did win a world championship.
They did.
Okay.
They did.
They were also massively rebuilding in 2016. I mean, it was I think like Dansby, Freddie, and like that was it.
And we thought we'd be able to rock with these guys for a couple of decades, Joe.
Like, this was the starting lineup in that 2016 season. Tyler Flowers, Freddie Freeman, Jace Peterson, Eric Ibar.
None of these guys.
Adonis Garcia.
None of
Matt Kemp.
There you go.
He was 31 at the time. Ender Inciarte and Nick Markakis. Jeff Francoeur was on this team. Gordon Beckham was on this team. AJ Przinsky was on this team. We mentioned Dansby Swanson. Yeah. This was like the first time that Chase DiArno was on this team as well. Your starting pitchers was Julio Teheran, Matt Weisler, Mike Fultonevich, as a matter of fact. Yeah, Mike Fultonevich. God, it's been so long since I've even said that name. Aaron Blair and Williams Perez. Nice. Your closer was the fantastically god-awful Jim Johnson.
Whew. Golly!
I mean,
come far,
absolutely, Joe. I don't even know why he had the CL beside his name, because he didn't know how to do that. How many times have the Atlanta Braves had a losing season since 1941? To start off, I should say 0-6. Not a losing season, but to start off 0-6 since 1941.
11 times.
3.
Just 3. Well, actually, Matthew was right about that one.
1980, 1988, and in 2016. In the entire Atlanta Braves franchise, the Braves have only started 0-6, counting this season, 6 total times.
Jeez.
1919 was the first time that they started a season 0-9. 1940, they started 0-6. 1988, they were 0-10. 2016, they were 0-9. 2025, they are 0-6.
I don't like my odds.
Facing Lake Snell tonight. 7:38 first pitch.
They should definitely
play a game.
They're going to play a game.
Yeah.
We're going to listen to the game.
Is it too much to ask for rain in Los Angeles? I don't even think Dodger Stadium has a tarp. I genuinely don't even think they own a tarp.
Joe, we got to hit a break. Going into the second hour.
Than the Braves are doing.
Yeesh. It's true. When we get back, it's going to be a fun second hour. We got the cover 5, and we also have Michael Key explaining what One Piece is. I love 2025. We'll be right back.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games, and if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title, because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal, and we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beebs likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
Hello, listeners. My name is Jonathan Dunwoody, and I'm Minuteman Press. We are a full-service print shop that is locally owned and operated. I have personally been handling direct mail for over 17 years and have a great relationship with the USPS. We are the only print shop in the area that is listed as a print provider on their website and the only printing franchise that can use their logo as our partner on marketing materials. We can help from conception to design, print, and delivery to the post office. And with our easy, secure online payment option, you don't even need to leave your office. Minuteman Press, we're not just putting ink on paper, we're building relationships.
What does it mean to be a part of the Southeastern Conference? That you scheduled your wedding and even your child's birth around your school's game? Of course. But it means more than that. It means you're home to hundreds of Fulbright, Truman, Goldwater, and Rhodes Scholars. It means starting out as the birthplace of American public higher education, and now leading the way in unmanned spacecraft. This is the SEC, and here it just means more.
This is Brent Musburger's VSIN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. AI-powered betting models to help you make sharper picks during March Madness. Free 7-day trial available now at rhythm.com. That's RITHMM.com.
Duke men's basketball set for the Final Four this Saturday night in San Antonio. They'll take on the Houston Cougars. Duke's a 5.5-point favorite. Houston plus 210, over under 136.5. Auburn's a 2.5-point underdog against Florida. The Tigers plus 130, over under 159.5. The Atlanta Braves are 0-5 to start the season. They lost last night 3-1 at Los Angeles. The Dodgers improved to 7-0. Bryce Elder starts for the Braves tonight. They're plus 205 on the money line. The Dodgers go with Blake Snell, LA minus 270. The Dodgers are the World Series favorite at plus 250. The Yankees plus 850. The Braves, Mets, and Phillies all plus 1,000 to win the World Series. I'm Chuck Sanders on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Second hour, final best hour on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, WCCN TV, and the Blitz. Joe Hunt, Sean Abraham, always brought to you every single day by Fleming Roofing and Restoration. The guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, look them up online. Fleming HSV is the place to find them. Fill out your free quote today, and remember that Fleming always shows up.
Just like Havoc fans did last night at Zambruski's, because
it's a big old line.
I mean, we are starting to get to the point where it is standing room only with Zambruski's. John was taking amazing pictures last night. There has been numerous shows where, like, okay, these are two players that we know that the fans are really wanting to talk to and hear from.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it'd be like Buster, or it would be like Jack, or, it was even Alger. But last night it was D-Stu, and it was Willie, Brian Wilson. It was his first time actually being on, because we joked with him. I was like, dude, you haven't been on because I mean, you've been gone for almost 3 months.
I think he was the last player to get on. Like, we had everybody else throughout the season, even the new guys, and he was the last guy to get in.
There are only two guys that I can think of that we have, or I should say 3 guys that I can really think of off the top of my head that I know that we have not had on.
Really? Okay.
But those are because of roster moves.
Yeah.
Zach Connor has just been added to the team. He got his first goal over the weekend. You also can go all the way back to, when Connor Lovey was here, and before he got called up to the ECHL, which is basically where he's been for the remainder of the season.
I was making a post for the, I dabble in the post making for the Havoc games.
Yeah, it's a dabble.
And I have these pictures, and I believe they were from Lucas at the beginning of the season, and I've gotten a few more from him. But one of them, I was just like, I'll grab one of these images that looks good, and I'll throw it in. And it was a guy with the name Lovey on the back.
Yeah.
And I was like, usually I don't have a problem with grabbing people, especially from the pictures that are sent to me that are a little bit outdated now.
Yeah.
And instantly I was like, I can't use this picture. I don't know. I don't know where this guy's at, because he's not on the roster.
Yeah,
it's because he's at the ECHL.
Yeah, because Lovey got called up to the ECHL. It was around Christmas time. He would call up, then he would come back, then he got called up again, and he's basically been there for all of 2025. And then you also can look at one that I know a lot of Havoc players, or I should say Havoc fans, are paying attention to now, and that is Doug Elgstam, which is Philly's brother.
Yeah.
And it was because he got traded so early in the season that we really didn't have the opportunity to get him or Philly on, because Philly we got on because he came back from his injury and we were able to get him on, where Doug got traded. And now he got waived, and he's now kind of a free agent that's out there. And a lot of Havoc fans, even in the chat last night, was going, hey, we want Doug back, which, look, you're in a position now where you're having to rotate players because you have so many on the roster and you can only have 19 available. So, and it's in a good way because those players that actually kind of sat out on Friday night were the ones that really helped this team win on Saturday night. So they're trying to keep these legs healthy and give some guys a night off and all that sort of stuff. But I mean, look, this happened yesterday, and because it happened during the game, I 100% missed it. And it was a part of the transactions that took place yesterday. We haven't even brought it up because it hadn't been talked about, because it hadn't been thought about, because Benito Posa just got put on IR yesterday. And part of that was bringing Kevin Weaver Vitale back. Before anybody asks, he never left Huntsville. Like, I just want to let everybody know this. He was at the game sitting in the players section with the other players. Like the day that he got cut and I look back and I remember standing on the bench, and I had thought to myself, I was like, should I say this? Should I not? Because when I'm coming down from the rafters, like Sting, except nowhere near as cool, and I'm coming down the rafters, John, you don't get this reference because you're like Brian Wilson.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
He came down the rafters at the VBC way back when.
Oh, he did do that, didn't he?
Yeah.
For AEW, he did that, didn't he?
Okay, and then just 2 years ago or something like that, I went to that AEW matchup where we thought we were going to see Sting, and we were looking in the rafters trying to see if somebody was up there. And then it turned out he was going to be at a different show. So like, damn it.
Yeah. Well, back in the 90s, he used to do this all the time. He'd come down from the rafters.
Yeah.
But when I come down from the rafters, I'm just going down the steps. And so when I'm going down there, I then go down the tunnel where the players are introduced at. Well, I open up the door to walk into the locker room because that's how I get to my spot on the bench.
Yeah.
First person that I run into is Kevin Weaver Vitale. And I'm going, like, I'm just doing that whole look because we had no idea that he was going to get cut or waived. And then we're looking at the team and we're like, what? Wait, why?
Why are you here?
Yeah, it was really strange because it wasn't like he wasn't playing well. Like, he actually, Friday night against the Bulls, he was arguably the best player on the ice for the Havoc. And so we're like, what the heck's going on? Then we started thinking about it, and we're like, okay, this is a roster move. They're trying to massage the roster right now. And so I see him, and I go, all right, I wonder where he's going. And then right when we started pregame, I look over to where the players are sitting that are not playing that night. And sure enough, he's sitting with the players. And I'm going, I was like, he's still in town.
Yeah.
Like,
I love that.
He was even at the morning skate. Like, it was one of those, like, dude was still there.
Yeah.
And so we're like, yeah, no, he gonna come back. So when Posa got put on the IR yesterday, Weaver Vitale got re-signed. It wasn't even waived. He got released from his contract. And so, yeah, there's a lot of things that are happening through this. Bringing Dougie in, it's going to be roster massaging because now you have got to have this stuff set by next week. Because, look, I say we have a Havoc Hour next week. I'm assuming that because I'm assuming that we're not going to play game 1 on Tuesday.
They're not going to stop us, Joe. They're not going to stop us anyway.
We'll host the thing while they're playing. I will literally take a mic down, throw it on Coach Blasius, because the other coaches will not be at a computer doing the editing. So I figure he's a little bit more talkative than you may not want Coach Stefan on the mic during the game.
He doesn't do the editing, Joe. He just watches the guys go in circles and do their thing.
Well, and so he's
a little bit more complicated.
A little bit more complicated, but you're giving the Brian Wilson explanation. And so we'll get him on the mic, and then what I'll do is I'll just sit on the bench, and every single time a player comes off and they're breathing hard, I'll ask him a question. So, Philly, how are you doing? Because that was how he was after the game on Saturday. Like, I thought I might have to help him off the ice.
Yeah.
That's why I asked Stu about the pickle juice, because they had tons of pickle juice. They had tons of Pedialyte.
Hey.
Everything over on the bench just to make sure that they didn't cramp up. And I'm still not 100% sure that Philly didn't play the last 5 minutes with a cramp.
Did you ever cramp up whenever you were playing, or
all the time?
What did you get into? What did you dabble into whenever it came to it? Did you drink the Pedialyte? Did you?
I didn't even know what Pedialyte was until I had a kid. I didn't even know what it was. No, I would have those, and I know a lot of parents have probably had this, where you had your kid would wake up in the middle of the night during their growth spurts, and just get a massively horrible cramp in your legs because you were growing. I had a ton
I remember
of those.
that. You know what? I haven't had one of those in a minute. I guess I'm grown out.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, you're what, 23, 4?
24, Joe.
24?
Turning 25. Remember the birthday. You know it.
Days. So no, those is when I would really, really get cramps. Like those were the ones where like you would pull up and you were just like, I would be like screaming through the house because it hurt so bad.
I gotcha.
Like those would be the ones it was, because I hit a growth spurt in about 6th grade, and I'm pretty sure I got to the height that I am now, and I never grew again.
Oh, I'm standing at what is it, 5'12" right now, so I don't think I'm
That's
getting any
very,
bigger.
very close to not being a real number, because it's really not a real number. 5'12" is
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about, Joe. I used to have the salt tablets. Those were that was like smelling salts. How much it just punches you in the face. Which, by the way, my buddy had smelling salts the other day when we were filming the movie, and he was like, he leaned it over to me because I walked in late, and I was like, "What's going on here?" He was like, "Here's some smelling salts." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And I decided to just like be that cocky dude. And I just went like, and he even warned me. He said, don't smell too much. I was like, okay. I got this thing really close to my nose and a big old whiff almost knocked me on my butt.
One of the security guards, when the players left the bench for both teams before one of the games a couple of weeks ago, he took a whiff of it. And he goes, "Hey," and I didn't know. I had no idea what it was at the time, because I mean, I knew of the smelling salts because I see the little packets.
Yeah, and if you're down there, you get a little bit of the smell from the smelling salts.
But then oh, trust me, and I did. But what also happened is he just grabbed the bottle, and it just looked like a Tylenol bottle. And he goes, "Hey man," he looks in it like he's actually looking at something. And he goes, "Take a whiff of this medicine," like that. And I took I made a massive. Massive, and I let out one of those like howls, but it was a good one. It
was a havoc
howl. Was like, boom, like this thing woke me up.
And
so now before every single game, I have to take a whiff.
That's awesome.
I have to take a whiff.
You're addicted though, so
I'm
you
addicted
might
to the
need
smell.
to go and get that checked out.
No. I mean, it's not. I mean, we're not talking Sharpies. We're just talking. We're talking about the smelling salts that are supposed to wake you up before a game.
I feel like there's got to be something, that goes to it where it's like you're smelling too many smelling salts. It might be destroying some.
We need
brain.
this in the studio.
We do. Maybe one container would be enough. I'd love to see
coffee.
I'd love to.
We need the smelling salts. Like we need to walk in on those days, like I did the other day when I only had about 2 hours sleep, and just all right, let's go. Okay.
I'd love to see what it would do to I know what it would do to Scott. He probably hits it every time before he's about to go and play pickleball. But for Drew, man, that would be a different story. I mean, he's already been energetic as of late, but I mean, a smelling salt would.
Can you buy smelling salts?
Yeah, you might need to be an adult for it, but still.
Well, I mean,
same with medicine,
course,
like cold and flu.
Dude, you still can't even rent a car.
What about it? Why are you coming after me?
Look, no, you're saying you got to be an adult, dude. You can't even rent a car. What are you talking about?
You know what? Well, at least I'm not the Athletics, and I don't even have a city.
No, you don't have a city. You don't have a press tent. You don't have anything. Like you have literally nothing. Okay, you're in Sacramento. You have there is nothing there. Okay,
golly, like what are you gonna chant? Are you gonna say "Let's go Sacramento" or are you gonna say
no,
Oakland?
No, you saw what they cheered last night? Well, it wasn't really a cheer.
Sell the team.
They seriously are still saying sell the team.
Dude, that Monday game, it was the first time they played in Sacramento. And let me tell you, it was awkward. And actually, there was a story that came out from CBS, and it was Danny Vietti. Vietti. There you go. And he came out with his experience of going to Sacramento, watching this game, and just the awkwardness that was like the chance, they weren't able to really pick up any steam. And then, of course, the team gets absolutely obliterated by the Cubs. I mean, this is going to be the next 3 years, Joe. I mean, the A's are going to simply be the A's, the Athletics. They're not going to have a city to their name. And it's sad because you go to Oakland right now, you're going to see the love that is there for the Oakland A's all around, in graffiti, in posters, everywhere. What do you get in Sacramento? You walk around, there's not a lot going on. There's not a lot bustling.
Sacramento. I mean, I know it's the state capital of
it's like an hour and 14 away from Oakland, so it's like you're still going to get those Oakland fans that you're
really
running away
not
from.
That far. Is it really only like an hour and 14 minutes away from San Francisco?
You pen to traffic.
Well, no, because in LA, an hour and 14 minutes away from LA means you're going 3 miles.
Yeah.
I mean, that, or if
That
you're
is
on
true.
431
This is
this morning, like I was, it meant that you went a mile.
It is 81 miles, though. That is how long it is. So, I mean, maybe if you take the right roads, it'll take you an hour 30.
Roads, where we're going, we don't need
hour 15.
roads.
But yeah, I don't know really what's in Sacramento.
All right, popular things to do in Sacramento.
Here we go.
Would you like to know the number one thing to experience in Sacramento?
Give me. I actually don't know what comes from California in the first place, except for Hollywood.
Trust me, there are a
It's
lot of people in the
like-
state that will give you answers that are not the friendliest.
Well, here's the thing: it's because we had a lot of people coming into this state because it's amazing, and you want to be in the Southeast from California or Texas. There's a lot of Texas people too. What's in Sacramento, Joe?
Okay, so I'm wanting to double check before I go 100% through this list because this list kind of just makes me roll my eyes. But
They
here
got
we go.
Carl's Jr.
Number one, the Midtown Sacramento Arts and Food Tour.
All right, we got
For $98, you can discover one of
Oh.
Sacramento's most charming and historical neighborhoods when you embark on a food and cultural themed walk.
Okay, so what do we got in Huntsville that we could do that's artistic and also for free?
Panoply. Is Panoply still a thing? Panoply.
I've never heard of that.
Okay, that's a no.
I was thinking Low Mill. Like that's where I'm gonna
Low
go.
Mill.
If I'm gonna go and get some arts and crafts and also eat some food, I'm going to Low Mill. And you
Low
know what?
Mill.
Free to get into the building.
All right. Number two,
Here we go.
Sacramento Ghost Tour. Gunslingers and Ghouls. One of the earliest towns to be founded in California was Sacramento during the gold rush, and they are committed to restoring the history of the city. You can learn about the ghost around Sacramento.
It's like
We learned about ghosts last night.
it's about as interesting as the Big Peanut in Idaho.
Ooh, I did not know you were about to say peanut. Just didn't know. Again, still don't know what that movie's about. Historic Old Sacramento Walking Food Tour. On this guided walking food tour through Old Sacramento, you will learn about the California Gold Rush and enjoy the tastes of the city.
Next, what's next?
Dude, this is literally the number 3 thing to do in Sacramento.
So I wonder why people are moving to Huntsville.
By the way, number 4, the Downtown Sacramento Historical Food Tour. Do you guys have anything other than food in Sacramento? Is that it?
But I don't even know if Sacramentoians can really like claim a certain food. Can they? They can't claim brisket. They can't claim ribeye. They can't claim steaks. All they can claim is their nice little gold that they found years and years ago. And now this A's team that I still think they're going to have a tough time claiming.
No, they don't really claim it. They understand that they are just kind of
Yeah.
we're just kind of here.
Yeah.
Like we're genuinely we're just kind of here.
Yeah. Joe, we got the cover 5, and I'm going to actually start this thing off right. Okay. Because yesterday, one thing came out that was not an April Fool's joke. Val Kilmer has passed away. And now it's time to figure out what our favorite movie he was a part of was. And that is also going to be extended to the phone lines. 256-576-4977 is the number to get in your answers. We get into the next segment, which is going to be the cover 5, which you're going to want to be a part of here on the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, as well as WZZN TV. We're talking anime. Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed. Oh, yeah? Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy. Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's in his arm. She's on the honor roll. She's just not the type.
No way.
No way. No way.
No way. My kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
I'm here with Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. With the temperatures going up and temperatures going down right now, now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right. The phones are staffed by us. They're manned 24/7. We're ready to come out and take care of you that day.
How do they give you guys a call?
You give us a call at 256-503-4490.
And you can find you guys on the World Wide Web at
talenthvac.com.
And now is a good time to do this because you guys are offering a special deal.
That's right. We're doing $49 tune-ups this spring. We're also doing free second opinions. We offer that year-round. Somebody comes out, they say you got a bad compressor, a leaking refrigerant. Give us a call, see if we can save you some money.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
256-503-4490. AL certain number 21014.
Football season and Bad Daddy's Burger Bar. The perfect combination of good times and great food. This season, score big with one of our chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness. Our delicious burgers are made with premium Angus beef, and you can pair it with one of our signature cocktails or a cold craft beer from our huge selection. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar on the Parkway in Huntsville and our new location at Cliff Farm, Highway 72 in Madison.
I'm Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Now is the time to sign up for the Eagle Installation WZZN Charity Golf Tournament to benefit the Make-A-Wish Foundation. This year's event is the morning of April 21st at Cherokee Ridge, and each member of the winning team not only gets the championship belt, but a full year membership to Cherokee Ridge. Breakfast and lunch are provided, plus tremendous prizes and a chance to win $100,000. Cost is $800 a team or $200 per individual, and corporate sponsorships are available. Send an email to 977WZZNevents@gmail.com to reserve your spot today.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Who run? Who run? Who run? Who run? Who run?
Who run it?
Who run?
I run it.
Who run? Who run?
I ran into a predicament. Joe,
what's up?
I told you I had a cover 5 question today. Turned out you already had it.
No. It was actually tremendous because if you're watching on WZZN TV, which you can every single day,
he was laughing after I brought up Val Kilmore's passing.
When you started to talk about this, I started to kind of laugh, and I was going, "All right, what direction is he about to go with this question?" And then you literally asked the question that I have for the cover 5, and I went, I'm not even upset about this. This is actually a you and I thinking alike on this.
Well, I would hope so. We've been doing this show long enough, but we have some questions from the chat. Brandon asked earlier, and we will be bringing up the anime conversation yet again. But it's not just because of Brandon. It's also because I actually had an amazing announcement yesterday from the Yankees game where Michael Kay tried to explain an anime, and I cannot wait to play that for you later on.
He tried to do talk about anime as well.
Yes, God bless it. He tried. That's the thing. It is such a big thing, not just in just pop culture, but now in sports. Because I didn't even bring this up yesterday, Joe. I mean, Jamal Williams. I mean, there's so many people that have embraced anime on a different level. It doesn't matter if it's in the NFL, it doesn't matter if it's in the MLB, it doesn't matter if it's UFC. There's guys that will throw out anime references just left and right. And I got to admit, Joe, I'm all here for it. But before we get into that question, Van Kilmore and your favorite movie, Joe.
So Val Kilmer's favorite movie. So
your favorite movie, not Val Kilmer's movie.
Not his. I don't know what his was. He has a lot of movies from the 90s.
Yep.
and even part of the 80s that
Mhm.
obviously remember, because a lot of people are going to bring up Top Gun. The first time I actually saw Val Kilmer in a movie was not Top Gun. It was actually in Willow.
Okay.
It was the most messed up scene that I have ever watched on television, probably to this day. It gave me nightmares. The movie came out in 1988, so it means it came out when I was 4 years old. While my parents were letting me watch this, I don't know.
Prime scary movie time.
But then I also think to myself, I also let my son watch Venom, which is probably not smart. May or may not watch a few scenes of Daredevil. Probably not smart.
I would just probably keep him away from Attack on Titan.
Yeah, or Deadpool. He's may have watched a few hours of that. So it was in this movie Willow, Val Kilmer turns into a warthog, and it is the most disturbing transformation ever. That was the first thing. So that's it. That is not my favorite.
Okay, what's your favorite?
Because that movie just messed me up.
That's good. That's good that you throw that out there. But
Yeah.
what is your favorite Van Kilmer movie? And also,
First off, it's Val Kilmer.
I keep saying Van because I'm
You've
thinking
said
about Van.
Kilmer.
My bad.
You've- Look,
Regardless.
Johnny Broom over here. Calm down, Abraham.
You can also join in on this conversation, 256-576-9777, and correct me whenever I say Van instead of Val. I am very disrespectful on this day of mourning. Joe, what is your favorite Val Kilmer movie?
I am probably going to say The Doors.
Okay.
He played Jim Morrison, and he was so amazing in the movie that even people that were members of the Doors band could not tell if it was him or Jim Morrison singing.
Wow.
Like, that is how good he was.
That really is good.
Honestly, I can't watch or think of the Doors now without seeing Val Kilmer as Jim Morrison. So, it'll be that. I mean, he
locked it in.
I mean, no, it wasn't just locked it in.
No, you locked that answer in.
I mean, he was, when I say the performance he did in that movie was absolutely over the top amazing.
Yeah.
I know we love him as Iceman. I know a lot of people are going to bring up Doc Holliday and how tremendous he was in that, but him in Doors, oh my heavens.
I'm going to say I liked the Prince of Egypt, where he played Moses and also our Lord up above. On top of that, Joe, my first film that I watched with him, Batman Forever.
I knew you were going to say it.
With the nipple suits.
The nipple suits.
Yes, that was the
Why did
Batman.
the suit need nipples? We still don't know.
I have no idea.
Nobody knows
A
why.
little extra room, maybe.
Actually, we do know why it is, because the suit actually looked weirder without them than with them.
I guess that's kind of how like a human body.
It
you know,
was.
like
I watched something that's
body would
called
look.
like something of I forget what the name of the series is, but they go through the history of topics like Batman movies, Spider-Man movies, Lord of the Rings. They discussed the nipple suit, and that was what they said. Is it looked weirder without the nipples than it did with the nipples, which is kind of weird to say.
Well, but Joe, I don't think Batman Forever is going to appease to too many people because it actually wasn't that good of a
No,
film.
it was a horrible movie.
I'm going with exactly what Matthew threw in the chat. Tombstone. Tombstone was my favorite one. That mustache looked absolutely amazing on him.
You know, there's a couple in here that I would actually say that for people that haven't seen them, if you've never seen The Island of Dr. Moreau, The Island of Dr. Moreau was absolutely amazing. Very disturbing as well, since we're talking about people and animals transforming into each other. That one was extremely disturbing. He was also in Real Genius when he was like in the 1980s, which was absolutely hilarious. But then his film work kind of turns more into like voiceover stuff and all that.
He was in Planes
because of the health issues. Yes,
Yeah.
he was also in Planes as well. So he's been in a lot of stuff. He was in like Psych, an episode of Psych and things like that. But a lot of his stuff is going to come from the 90s. I know that he did come back in the new Top Gun movie. And I know that really people kind of fell in love with him as Iceman in Top Gun.
Yeah.
But
He was attractive. Let me just tell you.
Oh, no,
he looked
absolutely was.
very good at the
Trust
time.
me, when you saw him like a few years ago when he released that documentary, because a lot of people didn't know that Val Kilmer, like on set, would always be carrying around like a film camera.
Yeah.
And like, we're not talking about like us where we got like our phone in our hands. Like he's got that sucker like he's on a news program, and it's, you got to get there for the 6 o'clock news.
Yeah.
Like he's got one of those massive cameras on his shoulder, and he was just carrying it around, filming like all of the stuff, that behind the scenes stuff of it, because he enjoyed that and he released it as a documentary.
Well,
it was very interesting.
Before we move on to the next question, we do need to hop to the phone lines. Harry, what's up, man?
Hey, guys, I think it's a tragedy he passed away when he passed away.
Yep.
He's a great actor. And really, my favorite Val Kilmer movie is Tombstone. And that classic line, "I'll be your Huckleberry." That's a classic line of his, and he played the part well.
Oh, he played the part amazingly.
So well. I mean, like he was sweating profusely in every single scene. He played a guy. What did he have? Bronchitis or something like that?
Tuberculosis.
TB. Yeah, regardless,
TB.
All that entire movie, he played it so well. I was always worried for him, but I was also worried because if I was talking to him in a saloon, dude, I would be terrified that he'd just pull it out and just end my life. So that's exactly how I felt about it.
A great movie. And I tell you, in his early years, he got the reputation of being a party boy and a face guy, face man. But really, he had a lot of depth in his character. Like John pointed out, he was in Doors and Willow and a lot of different movies. But to me, I'll always remember him not as Iceman, but as in Tombstone, is Doc Holliday.
Yeah, it's that mustache. I think the mustache.
Oh yeah, mustache. And again, he played the theatrical part of Doc Holliday. If you look back he did his research in Doc Holliday's history and played that part very, very well, very true to the character.
Well, we appreciate that call, Harry. Good stuff, bringing more information to it.
Yeah, and Harry's right about that, about his ability to study and learn the character to become the character. I don't know if he was like a method actor or anything. I don't think he would be the type that would be a method actor.
Probably in the early years, I would say for sure.
But with he took the appeal and the strategy that he made for Doors and The Doors. I shouldn't say just call it Doors, because Doors is a video game my son plays all the time. It's really creepy.
Roblox?
Yes, on Roblox. it gives him nightmares. We've literally had to ban it in the house.
That's funny.
But it is him playing in what he did with Jim Morrison. He then took that into the Doc Holliday character. Not the same, obviously, character, but the way that he studied to become that person.
I'll be your Huckleberry. I think it's funny because he was also in Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn in 2014. Regardless, Joe, you got a question for us.
I have a few questions, actually.
And we're going to try and get to all of them because this is the Cover 5, 256-576-977. Joe, what you got?
All right, so first question.
Here we go.
Stems from what I was experiencing when I came in this morning, and John knows what I'm talking about, because I, like always now, woke up, Hanshin Tigers on my TV. I'm watching it. Game started watching it about the third inning. Game goes into extras.
Okay.
And ends in a tie.
Yeah, that doesn't happen in the MLB, Joe.
It ended 6-6 in 12 innings, because in the Nippon Baseball League, they only go 12 innings through the regular season. What is the dumbest rule in sports? Because this just pissed me off. I'm sitting and I'm in it. Like my wife would call me as I'm driving down the road, and I would be like, "Yep, good. You're safe. Okay, great. All right, fantastic. Love you. Bye." Because I'm going, look, it's the 9th inning right now. Tigers have runners on second and third. They just need one hit to win this thing. Like, let's just go ahead and just walk it off. They're playing the defending champions. I just want to go ahead and just knock this thing off. They're doing more than the Braves can do right now against the defending champions. So let's go ahead and finish it. Then they don't do it. Then they go into the 10th, get a runner on third base with 2 outs, still can't get the hit. They go into the 11th, get a runner on second base, can't get it is continuing. And the Bay Stars were literally not getting a single. I don't even think they got a man on base for like the last 5 innings. So I'm just like, just end this thing. And it ends in a tie. And I'm like, this is so incredibly dumb. Who came up with a tie? Football, soccer. Yeah, I mean, I get it. But what is the dumbest rule in sports to you?
I would say this is a stretch because I don't know if there's too many dumb sports rules, but maybe I would say in the NFL or even in college football, No, I don't even know, because I want to say, like, you fall out of bounds, you catch the football, and it touches the ground, and it could be ruled incomplete or just it was caught out of bounds. So it's just like, and you can fumble though, and if the ground is the reason why you fumble, then it's not a fumble. So you see where I'm coming from, Joe? I mean, like, it's, I don't know. There's not too many rules that I could really go out of the way and say I don't like. And maybe another one would probably be, I would say, the goalie being stuck in front of his net and he can't really leave the trapezoid. I would say that would probably be the other one. Is it a trapezoid? I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's a trapezoid.
Okay, gotcha. But yeah, those would be my two, but nothing really crazy. I know people would probably throw out the tuck rule, but it's like, I think there's a reason for every single rule that's thrown in.
Yeah, no, and to me, the tie in Japanese baseball just infuriates me. And I knew it was a thing, obviously, like through playing the video game a lot and watching the games from last season. Like, I know that ties are a thing there, but it just annoyed me because we're like 5 games into the regular season. They're playing up against the champions. I want them to get the win. And I keep watching, just going, guys, all you've got to do is literally score one run. Just get one hit. You just need one hit. Get it. And through 5 innings, they had the runner on second or third and they could never get the hit. And then it ends in a tie. And it's like their announcers, which I can't understand, but I assumed it was like Hanshin ties the DNA Bay Stars. I'm like, this just sucks.
I redact my statement, Joe. It was the overtime rules in NFL. But that's going to all change, right? That's all going to change.
Let's go to the phone lines. 256-576-977. Josh, welcome in to the Blitz. How's it going?
What's happening, fellas? How y'all doing today?
Doing well.
I do got to agree on the Val Kilmer comment. Tombstone was definitely the best ever, and that line. And I do remember him being very sick during that movie, and he was phenomenal just to finish it out. But as far as the dumbest rule ever, because I'm such a hockey fan, I hate icing. I hate it.
Yes.
Yeah. And also,
I can't stand icing.
There's like the loose icing as well, where it's like you could get down the ice at the exact same time, but it doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter who gets there first at this point because it's so loose that the refs are already going to call it.
Right, and that's my point. I feel like it should be, hey, if you got the stamina, you got the speed, whoever gets there first.
I agree.
No, I agree with you on that one. I'm definitely not a fan of that at all because it's like, all right, and there's an icing call. Let's just go ahead and do it. And it's a part of the strategy. I get the strategy behind it because it gives you the ability that if it's been a long line, if it's been at least a long time in between face-offs, that you guys need a little bit of a break. I get it. But at the same time, it's very frustrating when you're doing it and then they get the icing and you're like, come on, man. Now let's go all the way back down the ice. Yeah. Your guys have just busted their tail 200 feet to try to get to the puck before they could get it. And now they got to skate all the way back and do the face-off because they can't leave. Yeah, it's annoying.
Yeah, I'm with you. Well, love the show, guys, as always, man. Love y'all. Have a good one, fellas.
Appreciate it.
We appreciate
it,
man.
You're going to want to keep listening, too, because I got something for you later on, but good stuff as always.
Hey, you know I'm always listening.
All right. Appreciate it. Good stuff, Josh. You can also get your answers in 256-576-977. Joe, what's next?
All right. So if you didn't know, Brandon asked a question yesterday in the chat. Because we were talking about Japan, and yes, we've brought it back up again today, different reasons.
He brought up another anime question in the chat today, too.
He did. He goes, but in Japan, they also like to sing a lot of karaoke in cabs and when catching a ride. If you had to sing a song for a free cab ride, what would be your jam?
Hey there, Delilah. What's it like in New York City? I'm 1,000 miles away, but girl, tonight you look so pretty. Yes, it's true. Times Square can't shine as bright as you. I swear that's true. Joe, I would sing that one hit wonder. That's what I would do. Exactly. Yes. Not because it's great, even though it is. It's because the amount of times that I sung that song in the shower when I was young, it's got it embedded into my mind. Yes, that is the song. Yes.
I did not realize I could go from having so much energy to literally wanting to just pound my head onto a table. So
You didn't like that, Joe? That's like the whole point of the whole conversation.
You have no clue how many times I've had to hear that song in my life, and you have no clue at how annoying that song is.
That's the last time I ever try and sing. I had a huge look. I'm confident as all could be, but at the same time, Joe, I will never sing in front of a crowd. But you just made me do it, and now you did that.
Through this entire statement that I made about how awful that song is, did I ever say anything about John's singing ability? Did I ever say anything about how well he sang the song or how badly he sang the song? I didn't mention either one of those. All I mentioned was how awful the song was. That's it. It has nothing to do with John Abraham. It just has to do with the song itself. 256-576-4977. We got phone lines lighting up right now. We're going to go those calls when we come back as we continue and we get ready to wrap up the Blitz on this Wednesday on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WZZN TV.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
The Bass Pro Shops Red Crest Championship Outdoor Expo will be at the Pond Bronze Center April 4th, 5th, and 6th in conjunction with the MLF Red Crest Championship on Lake Gunnersville. The Outdoor Expo will be open from 11 to 6:30 daily, and the first 200 kids 14 and under on Saturday will receive a free Abu Garcia rod and reel, courtesy of WHNT News 19. There will be hourly giveaways, tackle and boat deals, seminars, and a chance to meet the pros. And it's free of charge. The Bass Pro Shops Red Crest Championship Outdoor Expo, April 4th through 6th at the BBC.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Rocket City, for air that's cool and clean, contact Sensa Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Get HVAC smart with Professor Green and the expert team at sensagreen.com. Now offering up to $1,500 off any new Bryant system. Whatever it takes, Sensa Green has Huntsville covered. Remember, folks, with innovative, sensible green solutions, contact Sensa Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation.
We cover all the SEC schools, including Western Union and Venmo.
I want money.
You know, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, we've only got about 10 minutes left.
I'm sad.
On 97.7 ESPN The Zone at WZZN TV.
We'll be back tomorrow, though.
We will be back tomorrow, Thursday, as we are getting closer and closer to the Final Four.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of weird because it's kind of like a dead period right in the middle. where nothing's really going on. The teams
Yeah.
are practicing. They're about to fly out to San Antonio.
I mean, we could, try and talk NFL.
Well, and in the NFL, we do have the NFL draft coming up in a few days or in a few weeks.
Which
so
all of the March Madness, the draft, all of that stuff you'll be able to hear on this wonderful station, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. But appreciate everybody who is watching over on WZZN TV because it has been a fun time in the last 4 or 5 days in the chat. It has been popping, and I'd love to see it grow just a little bit more.
And if you want to know another reason why you should be listening to the Braves at 7:38 tonight when they take on the Dodgers to get swept.
Another reason?
The Atlanta Braves are batting 137 to start the season. The last Braves team to bat that low over any span of 6 games.
The Expos.
No. What year was it for the Atlanta Braves? The last time over any 6-game span that they batted 137.
What year, bro? Okay, first I'll throw out 2016.
No. We're gonna say this. Was it before
Jeez.
or after Pearl Harbor?
Since you went to Pearl Harbor,
yes,
I'm going to say before.
You would be correct.
Thank you.
But only by a few months. 1942.
Jeez.
The Boston Braves batted 137.
Thankfully, that was up in Boston, so Atlanta doesn't have to hold that one to their name.
All right, you asked the question, what song would we sing if we had to do karaoke for a free cab ride?
Yeah, I knocked that one out already.
You knocked it because you sang it. I never actually critiqued your singing. I just said what it is.
Fine.
Now, we've got phone calls. We're about to get to those at 256-576
or
977. But during the break, I pulled up what song that I would sing. It is a massive guilty pleasure for me. It is not one that I am embarrassed to play. John, could you hit this one, please?
You better count your money.
I will fast forward through a lot of songs when they pop up on Spotify. This song never gets fast forward. And this one's just chill. See, like this is chill in the back of the cab. Like I'm not trying to sit here and win American Idol or The Voice. I'm just trying to just kind of chill because we're on this cab ride. Okay.
Yeah.
Now look, I could go Garth Brooks, Low Places. Probably my favorite song ever is
Thunder Rolls.
Could probably do that. There's only one thing in my life when my wife and I first started dating that I looked at her and I said, don't do that.
And the lightning strikes.
It was when she started to talk while Garth Brooks' song The River was playing, because you don't talk during The River.
You don't do that.
You just experience it.
The same as Cry Me a River, actually, by Justin Timberlake. You just don't talk.
But this song right here is just like that chill vibe. Just everybody can just have some fun with it. And I think that this is what it is. If we ever do karaoke, this will be the song that I sing.
Okay. Well, next time we have our little company get together, I'll make sure we get to the place that's all about karaoke. And
have those on Huntsville?
You might like that. Yeah, there actually is. There's one down at Campus 508, 805. I get it mixed up every single time. Maybe the phone lines have a few songs. Maybe they'll just chill with us and answer some of the other questions.
By the way, the Dodgers 7-0 start is the best in Dodger franchise history.
And it's also the first time since 1933. Is that correct? For the Yankees, they were the only other team that didn't.
About
that's not true at all. The Rays, the Rays did something. Yep.
Who we got on the phone?
Jason, how you doing, man?
What's up?
Hey, I'm good. Real good.
Good, man.
Hey, I got you a song for the cab ride.
Okay.
David Allen Coe, They Never Call Me by My Name.
Oh, no. And how long is that? Isn't that song like 7 or 8 minutes? Is that the one?
Oh, yeah, it can be long. You get to the end for the hitter.
And if I remember correctly, didn't we used to play that during Vipers games back in the early 2000s, like towards the very end of the game when it was over with? Like, and we knew the Vipers were going to win, like the entire arena used to sing that song.
Yeah. Where'd they go? I went to pick Mama up, and when she got out of prison in the rain, then she got run over by a damn train.
Absolutely. I mean, it was just the entire crowd started screaming Old Train. Like it was just, I remember that that's how I knew the game was over. When we hit that song, I knew it was done.
Classic.
Absolutely. No, you are 100% right on that, man. Cause no, I remember that is one as well. You see the karaoke thing, like you just kind of go for something that everybody can enjoy. You're not up there trying to get yourself a record deal.
Tequila. Dun, 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 dun.
I mean, I used to say that my favorite one was actually Frankenstein.
Right.
But that one doesn't have any words. So that's the reason why I was good at it in karaoke.
Yeah. I'm more of a fan of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
No, I'm not really a fan of that one at all.
Hey,
But yeah.
Are they prop bets on how many times? Okay, I'm going to do the name wrong. Janai Broom they'll have to take him to the locker room for Saturday's ball game.
No,
2.5, 3.
Well, you actually said it right.
Yeah.
And so they do not. I would say that right now the line would probably be at 1.5.
Yeah.
Probably right now with that. He's not even practicing. I don't even think he's even going to really step on the court until they get to San Antonio.
I got a feeling that's a coin toss game. You know it?
Oh, absolutely it is. Because I look back at what we just saw in 2 rounds ago in the Sweet 16. You had Tennessee and Kentucky. Kentucky had beaten Tennessee in the first 2 matchups. And you thought, well, again, it's hard to beat a team 3 times. Florida and Auburn have only played 1 time this season, but Florida was able to handle them in Neville Arena. And you think, okay, well, this should be Florida, but Auburn's already seen them once.
And I got to thinking about Houston and Duke. Duke's roster has like 3 freshmen starting, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And 2 of those guys are going to be in the NBA next year. Just, think about that.
Yeah. And then you take Houston, they got 7 and 6-year ball players that's been there forever.
Yep.
These are grown men.
You could have said it, man. They are grown-ass men.
Yeah, I sort of like Houston in this game. They might get a little physical with Cooper.
Yeah, and it is a rematch. These teams did face off last year in the March Madness, and Duke got the upper hand. It was actually the only time that they faced off against each other. So, second game, I want it to go Houston's way, but I don't know. It just seems like Duke might be inevitable. But either way, Jason, appreciate your call, man.
All right. Hey, y'all have a good Wednesday.
Hey, thank you, sir. You too. 256-576-4977.
And before we go to Joe on the phone lines, Buck actually brought up a really good idea. Have a karaoke night where we get all the listeners, come on down to Corlejos, and we just have a wonderful, wonderful karaoke night. Sing all the songs.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with that.
Tom's the one that works directly with Corlejos, but I'm cool with the guys as well. So we're going to get that set up for sure.
Like a summer party.
Joe, what's up, man?
Hey, real quick, karaoke song, probably Country Boy Can't Survive.
Nice.
And the stupidest rule in sports is not being able to pick up your golf ball while it's in the fairway and wipe the mud off it.
I actually.
And the reason I say that, in baseball, you get a little nick, a little scrape on the ball. They're chucking them away like nothing. They wipe off wet footballs. But you strike one 320 down the middle, and it ends up in a divot that wasn't fixed, and you got to hit that ball out of that. Come on, man.
Yeah.
You just got to pray that when you hit it the next time, that's the hit that actually knocks the dirt off.
Correct.
Yeah. It's like, all right, let's make sure. Let's see if I can get that one, or it's going to cause you to have more dirt on it and more mud. Yeah, no, Joe's absolutely right on that. No, exactly. you are correct.
I like that. Golf, though, I mean, it's just like play where it lies, I like that aspect of it. And that also
means. What's the problem with picking it up, wiping it off, like literally never taking it out of your hand?
Joe, you're gonna have dirty balls every once in a while.
I know you do, and you wash them when they're dirty.
Yeah, but you got to wait until you're done with the day.
Well, yeah, because it's not available. If somebody were to say, hey, man, if you need to wash your dirty balls, we've got some right over here. I could be like, all right, cool. I can go right there and wash my dirty balls. Or if I have myself a bag that may have some like wipes in it so that the balls, whenever they're rolling around on the floor in here, I could just pick them up and wipe them off. I would absolutely do it. Well, I'm not going to get upset because you clean your balls.
Well, you got to have a tight bag though.
Well, you
to hold the balls in place.
Well, it depends because
you don't want the balls jingling and jangling in your bag.
The first time that you ever get the bag and you put the balls in it, then it's going to be a really tight bag and it's going to be for the balls. Yeah. But then as it gets older, then it starts to get a little bit looser and the bag starts to sag a little bit. And then that's where the problem lies when it comes to the way that they hold the balls.
Some would say you just buy a new bag, but This is Michael Key on his explanation of what One Piece is.
What have we got going here, Michael?
Well, that is, he wears a lot of things from an anime series called One Piece. And on his armband, you see Monkey D. Luffy, also known as Straw Hat Luffy. He's the captain and founder of the Straw Hat Pirates.
Nice.
And protagonist of the anime and manga series One Piece. I know you were asking about this, Paul, that Monkey D. Luffy has the properties of rubber after accidentally eating one of the devil fruits.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad you explained that.
Jazz is a big anime fan.
Now, guys, you know that big chain.
I wonder if at any point in time in Michael Key's career, he thought that he would have to be talking about anime.
I don't think so. Either way, we'll be back tomorrow, 22 hours, The Blitz.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test